All right, so I want to talk about the Holy Spirit. So stuff came to me. I was realizing stuff today, and just looking in my Bible. Um, and so I'll be in the Gospels and Acts. I didn't write any scriptures down, so I'll be flipping through. But anyways, so right now I'm on John 16 verse 13. First, I'll talk about the Holy Spirit. Like it seems like there's a view from Christians of the Holy Spirit being God. So in verse 13 of John 16, it says, "However, when he, the Spirit of truth, has come, he will guide you into all truth. For he will not speak on his own authority, but whatever he hears, he will speak, and he will tell you things to come." All right. So right there, Jesus is talking about authority. I don't know if he means like it's an entity that doesn't have like its own self, like it's robotic, like it just hears from God, like God just has this entity set up this way and it just speaks what God speaks. I don't know if he's saying that it does have its own authority, but either way, and especially if it has its own authority, that shows you that, I mean, either way, like, it's not God, but especially that he's, like, if he's saying it has its own authority, you definitely know it's a separate entity that God made, and it's not God. Everything that the Holy Spirit, like, every purpose of the Holy Spirit, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I was going to say about that. I'll let that come back to me. But, the Holy Spirit, like, stuff about the Holy Spirit is stuff that God can do. So today when I was I was reading about the Holy Spirit, it caught me in a way to where I'm like, it doesn't make sense to have the Holy Spirit. It's like, what's the point of having the Holy Spirit? Like, that's stuff that God can do. And before the Holy Spirit even came about, that would be stuff that God could do for people. And like, even here, the last part of verse 13, it says, "And he will tell you things to come." So that would be telling of the future. That would be prophetic. And in the Old Testament, you had prophets telling of things to come. So it's like, why would they have a Holy Spirit telling them instead of God himself? It's like, they're getting less of God because he's not even using himself. Like if the prophets from the Old Testament looked at the New Testament, it would be like for them it would be like, why do they have the Holy Spirit? Like, I got God telling me stuff. Okay, I remember what I was going to talk about earlier. So, all of the things that the Holy Spirit, like the purpose of the Holy Spirit, it's like, it's speaking of encounters. Like, you will have an experience and know that a Holy Spirit is encountering you. It doesn't seem like something that you're gonna guess inside of yourself or think, oh, this is the Holy Spirit speaking in my mind. No. Why would God set it up to where we gotta guess? And then it's like, oh, is this God or is it the Holy Spirit? There has to be a way to know you're having an encounter with the Holy Spirit. Like, if God set it up for us to have the Holy Spirit in our lives, then we should be able to know when it's communicating to us. Like Jesus is talking about it'll teach you all things. Do you think that the teaching is the stuff that comes to your mind here and there and you're learning stuff? That sounds like you're going to have an experience and it's going to teach you. He will teach you all things. He does say, and bring to your remembrance all things that I said to you. So, I'm just thinking, like, if you're going to be taught, like, there should be some way you're noticing a spirit is operating. And it doesn't have to be like the example that I just gave, like it's teaching you, like it's right there teaching you. Like you're like, the words could be coming to your mind in the Holy Spirit's presence, which should be different from God's presence, because then how can you tell? Or maybe it'll announce itself. I'm the Holy Spirit, I'm going to teach you this. But if it's robotic, then it's just getting everything from God. So or it's like already programmed with information. But yeah, when there's new information, like it would be getting it from God. Or it'll already have it like stored to tell you when God has the time for you to be taught. So, but yeah, like bringing stuff to your remembrance, like that there should be a certain spiritual feeling to where you know, okay, a spirit is bringing something to my remembrance. Or like, maybe after you have the memory, then the Holy Spirit speaks. But otherwise, you could have a memory and you're not going to know if there's any spiritual involvement going on. So then there's no acknowledgement of a spirit. So then there's no credit given. It's just like yourself is just remembering stuff. There's no thanks to God, So it's like there's got to be a way for us to know so that we can give thanks or appreciation or acknowledgement, But I'm looking at like the stuff that the Holy Spirit is capable of doing are encounters. And so also I want to talk about like people have this idea that the Holy Spirit is God's presence. Which that seems like it's only based on acts on a one-time event. And it doesn't even say they felt a presence. You can read it. It doesn't even say they felt a presence. When it's talking about the drunk part, what the context shows is that it looks like they're talking about how they were talking because they started speaking in different languages. So they're thinking that they're drunk. And the thing about it, it wasn't just like it wasn't words that you can't understand. Like they actually understood what they were saying. They were literally speaking another language. It's not like the tongues nowadays. I mean, some of the words could be from different languages, but most of it don't even seem like it. And I mean most of like when someone's speaking in tongues, like most of it just doesn't. Well, I don't want to say most, but just some of it. But yeah, they could understand them. We can't. I mean, unless someone's speaking an actual other language, we cannot understand what people are saying in tongues. And so, I mean, we would have to know another language to know. But, like, it's like what language, or languages, I should say, could it be? But look, that's the thing though. Like the languages that they were speaking, those people knew them. So it's like God knew that they would understand. So why would it be that people can speak in tongues? I mean, if it only had to be like an actual language, why would God have it to where it's not an actual language? But I'm not saying that it has to be a language on earth. Nothing's wrong with it being a language that's not on earth. Anyways, so the major point about that, I just flipped to Acts, is that it doesn't say they felt the Holy Spirit's presence. Another thing I want to talk about is that the Holy Spirit is thought of to heal. Where does it say that in the Bible that it has healing power? It does not. Now, you have Acts chapter 1, verse 8. It says, but you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you. Does that mean the power is from the Holy Spirit? I don't know. But the disciples did receive power before that, because Jesus gave them power and authority to heal people and to cast out demons. So, what's this other power they're going to receive? It's like, did they lose the power? Or do they still have the power? So then if they still have it, is it, like, what is this other power? Like what is it? I think I'm almost done talking about the Holy Spirit. I do want to touch on Mary, because that part, there's some translation stuff. Like I want to bring up translation, because there's some parts in the Gospels. There's a part in the Gospels where some of them say God's Spirit, or maybe it's the Spirit of God. I don't know exactly how it's worded, but and then some say the Holy Spirit for the same type of verse, which is when Jesus received. Wait a minute, it might be two places. When he was led by the Spirit, or maybe Holy Spirit or God's Spirit, I don't know what it says, and then the Spirit descended on him like a dove. All right, so I want to look at that and just bring those differences of the translations to your attention, because the Mary part of when she conceived says it was by the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit didn't come yet. So it could actually be translated wrong and be God's Spirit. So, alright, let's start for the stuff I was talking about with Jesus getting baptized. Okay, so it's in Matthew chapter 3, verse 16. And he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove. Alright, so that one in Matthew says Spirit of God. Now let's see about the wilderness. Okay, it says, then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness. Okay, so let's go to Mark. I don't even think Mark. Oh wait, Mark would have it. I'm thinking. Yeah, okay, so and immediately coming up from the water, he saw the heavens parting and the Spirit descending upon him like a dove. So that don't even... that's not even descriptive. Alright, wait a minute. Okay, it does have the wilderness part. Alright. It just says the Spirit. Alright, so let's go to Luke. Alright. Okay, so in Luke chapter 3, verse 22, it says, "And the Holy Spirit descended in bodily form like a dove upon him." Alright, so that one says Holy Spirit. And it says Holy Spirit. Then Jesus, being filled with the Holy Spirit, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. Okay. So, now let's say it truly was God's Spirit, which would make sense. Then it would be he was filled with God's Spirit. Why would Jesus need the Holy Spirit? Especially if people think that Jesus is God, which I don't. Why would he need a Holy Spirit that would... What's its purpose? It's not to feel a presence. To bring memory. To lead into all truth. Like... to teach all things. So you got truth, memory, and teaching. And it's also called the Spirit of Truth. Why would he need, it's Jesus. He gets his information from the Father. Why would he need the Holy Spirit? Anyways, so... Which, he says he sees what the Father does, or... I know he says that, I was saying or. But, I'm saying or. I don't even know why I said or, but, I'm thinking he said something like he gets stuff, like information is what I'm saying when I say stuff. Like from God. He's getting information from God. I don't remember what he says. Okay, so. And I didn't say that wrong. I was saying says because I don't remember everything Jesus has said, alright. So, alright, so that was Luke, John. This one probably says Holy Spirit. Because I'm thinking it said it more than just one gospel. Wait a minute, this is so weird. It doesn't even... Oh. It's just... It is weird how it's worded because it starts out with, and John bore witness, saying, I saw the Spirit descending from heaven like a dove, and he remained upon him. Like, that sounds past tense. That's why it's weird. Anyway, so I did not know him, but he who sent me to baptize with water said to me, upon whom you see the Spirit descending and remaining on him, this is he who baptizes with the Holy Spirit. He's saying that Jesus baptizes with the Holy Spirit. So it says, I saw the Spirit descending. But he's saying that God spoke to him saying, upon whom you see the Spirit descending. It doesn't say upon whom you see my Spirit descending. Huh. So or maybe it's just translated wrong. Since like it differs so drastically among these translations of it. One saying Holy Spirit, the other one saying Spirit of God. It's like, how were they even writing this? What were they reading? That's what I was gonna say. I cut myself off talking. I was like, what were they reading? Oh wait, I don't know if they would have been reading anything. I mean, if someone was writing stuff down as the stuff is happening, then they would be reading something if they wanted to make another copy of their version of what they remember. But like going off of someone else's copy, like one of the other disciples, like going off of another disciples and adding what they remember. It's confusing though to me. Like if Jesus had, if he had the Holy Spirit, why would he need it? Because it's Jesus and he had God with him. Just doesn't make sense. So Mary part, I already discussed the Mary part. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with Mary, it's like, was it the Holy Spirit or was it the Spirit of God? I think I'm done. This video is almost 30 minutes. So the Holy Spirit is not God's presence. Acts doesn't even say that they felt the Holy Spirit. There is no proof that the Holy Spirit heals. That power part mentioned in Acts chapter 1 was that they got power because they got the Holy Spirit, even though they already had received power to heal and cast out demons prior to that event, the Pentecost event, which it happened on Pentecost. Like that was a thing. Like Pentecost is not the Holy Spirit came down. It says when the day of Pentecost had fully come. And right there in Acts chapter 2, first verse. So study the purposes of the Holy Spirit. Okay, it's all in John. It's just John 14, 15, 16. That's it. Yep. Wait a minute, let me see. Yeah. I was literally looking at the end of 16 over here at the top, just to see what it said, if it mentioned anything about the Holy Spirit. But yeah, so that's the chapters. I'm wondering where it says that comfort part, because the Holy Spirit is known as the Comforter. So in John 14 it mentions, and I will pray the Father, which that don't even sound right. It should be, I will pray to the Father, and he will give you another helper. I think some say comforter. Maybe the King James Version. That he may abide with you forever. The Spirit of truth. I'm thinking that's the part. Because if you're going down, he's talking about he will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all things. I wish I had wrote down stuff and just looked over things before I did this live, so that it's not so long. I'm just scanning through. So okay, he also says that the Spirit of truth will testify of him. And it doesn't say it like that. It says he will testify of me. Which will be an experience, because it's like, if something is testifying to you, wouldn't you be in a spiritual encounter to know something is testifying to you? Like, testifying is communication. And for them, it really would be testifying of him, because that when he's saying that, that's related to the time they had with Jesus. And that sounds like it would help them continue in their spiritual walk. Like, that doesn't seem like something for us today, because we don't have any, it's just not like that. It wasn't like, we're not them. We might not need it to testify to us, but they probably did, because, they could have just been more likely to fall away. Alright, I'm not seeing anything about comfort. Alright. It has to be that part where it says another helper, and it probably says another comforter, or maybe it just says comforter. I'm going to end this, and when I find it, I will just put it in the description. Alright, bye.